Doom Nation, what's up, guys? It's Skaggs and the Captain, as always, and we're in the Captain's quarters today, taking a break from the shack in the back. And today we're kind of just doing some housekeeping again.
Yes. It's fun. We've been having a good time doing a little housekeeping episodes.
And us two idiots had a great conversation politically the other night on Xbox and didn't record any of it, so let's see what we can remember. But, yeah, so we got our Allagash. Which one you want, pal?
I'll have the can.
Yeah?
It's on my side. So, you know, another week in the political world.
Yep.
A lot of more stupid shit happened.
R.I.P. Dr. Seuss. So at this point, we are going to lose a character once a week.
Yeah. At the same time, I don't even want to waste much time on
neither do I.
Seuss
Hold on.
and the culture war stuff. So there was a lot of really. Let me start, I guess, with what just happened last night with the minimum wage.
This stupidity.
Issue. So last night, as people pretty much know, the COVID relief bill passed, and for whatever reason, they said that there can't be a minimum wage increase in the COVID relief bill. Obviously, you know, Bernie Sanders is a big raise the minimum wage guy. He proposed I think a bill on its own to raise the minimum wage to $15, which they voted on last night in the Senate. And
they were voting for a long time on this COVID bill.
One thing that's interesting, the more we've looked into this stuff, is they're there sometimes all night long.
Yeah, I saw something that said 24 hours. I don't know if I believe that, but they were there for hours on end.
Little recesses to go eat and stuff. But so long story short, it didn't pass. I think 8 Democrats voted against raising the minimum wage to $15, and the big uproar was her name is Kyrsten Sinema, I believe. I never even heard of her before until last night.
Yeah, she just made headline news.
When she goes to vote, she walks over. You have to give a thumbs up or a thumbs down. She walks over and she does a curtsy and a boom, a thumbs down right in the face. And she's wearing designer clothes. She has Lululemon, people were saying on, which is a really expensive women's brand, a really expensive book bag, whatever. And you know,
everybody's pissed off.
The people are pissed off. The progressives, you know, the Bernie people are pissed because this is a politician who they were showing supported raising the minimum wage when she was originally running for election.
And now she got her spot.
And now she got her spot. She probably the corporate bigwigs got their tentacles in her, and now she's not only voting against something that progressive was. She's stunting on it.
And
you know?
I mean, Project Veritas called out that one guy who was running on the campaign that he was in favor of gun rights, and then behind closed doors, he was like, I have, you know, so he was like, oh, no, we're going to get rid of the guns.
Right.
Whereas this woman was probably like, oh, yeah, $15 minimum wage.
They're full of shit.
Just, all bullshit.
And then, you know, because a lot of people on social media and et cetera are criticizing her for what she did, right away, here it comes. You're all sexist. You can't criticize me for you know, the way I behaved when I did the vote. Oh my God, we're not criticizing you because of that. I mean, yes, people are criticizing
a pretty
you
intelligent
because of that, but people are angry because you're not doing what progressives want. You're not doing something that
you're not doing what they voted for you to do.
Regardless of, I know a lot of our listeners probably don't want the minimum wage raised.
I don't want it the way they want to do it. I'm fine with it going, but it can't happen all at once because small business would suffer even more. They couldn't. I'm telling you, if they did it overnight, now obviously in New York where it's already at $14 an hour.
They're not doing it overnight though. But they weren't planning on doing it overnight.
Bernie Sanders had one where it goes up
over the years.
$1. It takes 6 years to get up there, and I agree with that because
that's what it was going to happen.
Okay, so that's what I'm in agreement with because $15 overnight after the year of COVID.
No, it wouldn't make sense.
It would destroy everyone, and McDonald's and Target and anyone who could afford it would be all self-checkout, all self. I don't know if the last time you ever been inside a McDonald's or a Burger King.
It's all screens.
They have the people behind the counter, but if you don't want to do that, you could just go up to the screen and press
Wawa.
Big Mac, large fries. Yes, like Wawa's, and they would just replace everybody, millions of people with these little machines.
Yeah, you know, that's a whole conversation. Should the minimum wage be raised or not? That's a whole conversation on its own. But this is a good opportunity to show really progressives who are really liberal people to get them to wake up, right, about the woke shit.
Yeah.
Because what you have here is something that the woke people are trying to push, raising the minimum wage. And this is something that I agree with them on because it's a class issue.
Right.
The fact that the minimum wage hasn't been raised in like fucking forever, it's been at the same thing. It's time for it to be raised. And now because someone came and voted against it, and they did it in a real, like, insulting way, and now you woke people, the progressives, are criticizing that person. Now you see why everyone's sexist, everyone's racist, etc. doesn't. First of all,
the
it's
trap
not
could
even
be sprung either way.
It's not. First of all, it's not true, right?
Yeah.
No, is AOC and whoever like Kyle Kalinske is criticizing her? Is it because he's a sexist? No, it's because he wants that progressive agenda of his that he wants to be had, and this person didn't do it, and not only they didn't do it, it's like they're rubbing salt
it's
in
a
the
slippery
wound.
soap. Yeah.
Now you see that's fucking bullshit, and that is a tactic that like the establishment, the neoliberal, like the people in power, they use the racism, the sexism, etc.
It's the crutch.
It's the crutch, and it keeps the people divided. Now look, now you have division within the liberals,
just
the
like what you were saying with that guy Tim Dillon. Like you said, he's gay, right?
Yes.
I didn't know that because I don't judge people, but he gets to use that as his shield. He gets to turn it around.
That's why he's so funny.
Throw the truth out at people. I mean, oh, you hate me because I'm gay now? Like it's the crutch that some people do deserve to, have that badge of honor to use it. But like in this case with this woman, like to be coming out saying, "Oh, you guys are sexist." Bullshit.
It's not. It has nothing to do with sexist. It has to do. People are angry because their idea of raising the minimum wage. You shit on it. You shit on it, and you did it where you were wearing like fancy fucking clothes, and you did it in a way that was disrespectful, almost on camera. You know what I mean? It's nothing to do with being sexist. I pointed out in one of our previous episodes when they had the impeachment trial, Josh Hawley putting his feet up on the desk. That was a dickhead thing to do. Is that because I'm sexist against men? No, it's just because it was a dickhead fucking thing to do.
But you directed your anger to the right people, so nobody cares.
Right? Exactly, bro. Exactly.
Yeah. Dude, I said it. We were having a conversation last night, and I said, like, with everything that's going on with Como, with all these sexual allegations. So I don't know if we mentioned this on the last episode, what I said about Como, that this is just being covered and we're being distracted.
No, I think a lot of this stuff has happened throughout the week.
So Como now has up to 3 sexual assault cases against him. And somebody was like, oh, if one more sexual assault case comes out against him, he needs to quit. What is this? A hole punch card at Quiznos? Right. You get 5 subs, you get a 6th one free. Like
our buddy from Pete Saloon, A-Bar, shared that. He goes, "Well, now you need 4 now. Now you need 4 in order to cancel somebody. Before it was anything, but you need 4 now apparently."
I wish that a Republican senator or mayor or just any Republican in the public eye gets wrapped up in a sex scandal. Because it's
soon, so that we could show
like next week. Like I don't want like Ted Cruz or like fucking Dan Crenshaw or someone like that to go down, but like just a minor fucking maybe even like a local senator.
It'd have to be a major person because they crush him immediately. And just to see the difference of how they
true. Yeah,
works.
The bigger the name, the better it would be. Because I could promise you, within the hour, there would be an angry mob with pitchforks and fire outside that person's office.
I mean, we don't need it to happen again. You saw it with Brett Kavanaugh. And with all the algorithms that like Twitter has to detect hate speech, they should really come up with a algorithm to track like idiot politicians who are like, we need to believe all the Me Too people. I believe you. Blah blah blah. Sexual assault's a terrible thing. And then like when they don't say shit about Como, Twitter should have an algorithm to go back and delete those so we can't bring them back up. Oh, you mean like to cover up their tracks?
Yeah, because the amount of people that flip-flop and the amount of people that have been silenced on this. So the one thing that I wanted to bring up, though, was so Como is now up to 3 sexual assault cases. This is allegations. This is covering up the fact that he put sick people back into nursing homes. He knew the elderly were susceptible, but he still put them back in sake of saving space in the hospitals. Then they forged the numbers and lied about the numbers. Upwards of like 13,000 people died. This is what we need to be investigating. This blows up the whole agenda of COVID and the lockdowns. This could be something that could possibly get our freedoms back that we're going to have to talk about because people are furious with Texas. But there's also 4 other governors, New Jersey, Michigan, California, and somewhere else, all did the same thing that Cuomo did by putting these. So if Cuomo's guilty, they're probably guilty. And this would unravel the entire COVID agenda. We're not getting that story. We're only getting the juicy sexual assault allegations.
That doesn't discount anything these women said.
No, of course not.
At all.
But
I'll take Cuomo gone however I could get him the fuck
but
out
the
of
problem
here.
is if he resigns as a disgraced governor, he's probably going to resign with his full pension, full benefits for lifetime.
I don't care about that.
But dude,
I'm out.
okay, but then the other way is he rots in prison.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean? And those women also get to lock up a monster.
But would he be locked up in prison though?
I don't know. I want complete swift justice.
I know you want to like torch
Firing
Cuomo,
squad.
you know, but then at the same time, I'm also trying to be cognizant of that's what people want of Trump. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I want Cuomo gone because
the state's never going to be the same until he's gone.
He's very obviously corrupt. He's very obviously a bully. He's not like someone who you want to be a leader. That's why I want him gone. But don't want him like, like a firing squad on him. No, because that's not. You know what I mean? Like then, because then people.
But the problem is we're missing. I know, but we're missing the story. It is the same shit they do to Trump, but we are missing the bigger story.
No, that I agree.
Yeah,
that I agree with, and that is suspicious in itself, right? It seems like they've said, you know what? Sorry, Andy, you're fucked.
Yeah,
and you're gonna have to take the fall for the rest of us because we don't want that overall bad decision to come back on Democrats at large. So. You know what? Without it, this stuff doesn't happen by accident. There was a conversation that happened. The only person who's really still pressing hard after the nursing home thing is Ron Kim. God bless Ron Kim. He's still going after Andy hard on the nursing home stuff.
And he should be.
And he's trying to keep people focused on that too. Yeah. The thing is, we could go after him on all these things.
Yeah.
Right? They're all equally bad. You know what I mean? One is not like separate from the other. But without a doubt, they are trying to push, like the media coverage is trying to be pushed.
So once he's at it, once he resigns because of that, like the whole story would just go away.
Goes away, right?
Yeah.
They won't,
and that's how this works, people. It's time to wake up. Like it doesn't even matter who you voted for. I can't imagine. There's got to be a proportion of people that voted for Biden who are now sitting back going like, what the fuck? Because, I mean, even your girl Omar was like, we are now giving less money for COVID relief than the Trump administration. Like, this is a complete and total loss.
Listen, the progressives, the Bernie people, the Elon Omars, the AOCs, no, they're seeing it now.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at them on Twitter, the blue check liberals, they're seeing it and they're pissed and they're not liking what it is. And I have to say, sour grapes, tough shit.
Yeah.
This is what you bought. Look, I didn't like Trump. I voted for Trump, right? Why? Because I didn't agree with this fucking every time there's an election, they go, well, you have to vote for this guy because he's not Trump or he's not that. You know, next time there's an election, we'll get you the guy you want. We'll get you Bernie next time, but not this time. This time we have to unite behind Joe Biden because we have to make sure we don't stop. I've been woke to that bullshit fucking spiel they've been selling us for years. They did it with Hillary, right?
Yeah.
We don't have time right now for Bernie and his crazy agenda. No. We have to unite, get behind Hillary and stop Donald Trump. And they did the same fucking thing again. So you know what? No. I'd rather throw the wrench of Trump back in the fucking mix,
Dude, it's, think of how big of a failure his first 100 days is going to be. He's not he's flip-flopped and fallen short on so many of his first 100-day promises.
We're going to get to it, remember?
Yeah. And then on top of it, still no State of the Union address. This has been the longest a president's ever gone without giving a State of the Union, but also a solo press conference.
Yes.
Look at his press secretary. We have to admit she's a joke, right? I mean, we could get a high school student to do a better job.
She's not doing a good job.
I think that's ready.
Oh yeah, you guys are seeing us make the sausages. I'm working on producing our review of WandaVision, which is already up. So you should go watch that.
Yes.
While we're doing this.
Yeah,
busy
which is pretty cool.
Busy times.
Yeah, we're putting in the 5 to 9.
You gotta keep saying what you're saying.
But it's a mess, and you know, we were warned about this because we were watching a video just a few moments ago before we started recording of just Joe Biden going completely off the rails. And he's going off the rails more and more and more, and they're not letting him sit through questioning and stuff. If I can't question the election, you got to make the guy do presidential shit. I said this on the last episode. You can't just not give us a State of the Union. You can't just not cut off at the end of his speech, like, no questions. Like, I took a screenshot.
He even seems willing to answer questions, but they're managing him. You know? Like they're trying to mitigate him, how much he's out there talking and whatnot, because they know there's some flaws and whatnot.
So every presidential norm, this is a little bit far right, but just hear it out. Every presidential norm has been destroyed. There's never been a president. If this guy's this popular, how come it's such a different presidency? We are unaware who runs the country, but we could all agree it's not Biden. You know, we know he's a mouthpiece for somebody pulling the strings. Yes. There's razor wire fence and armed troops cutting us off from Congress. We can't even see what our own government's doing. And then, but a stolen election is considered a conspiracy theory. You know, like, listen, if I can't question the election, you got to make appearances at least.
Why can't you question all that other stuff?
Yeah.
Right, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's questionable. The fact that there is still this like green zone around Washington D.C. You know, they were saying the other day
the March 4th crap.
That there was a March 4th.
So for somebody
planned by QAnon,
for somebody who used to follow Q, you know, and I would always bring it up. March 4th was never a date heard of up until like the inauguration day, like January 20th, and it wasn't even like an actual real Q post. It was just like that's when Abraham Lincoln got inaugurated, so there was stuff going around about that. But I said, like, other than waiting for March 4th to come by, nothing's going to happen. Yeah, and they made this big deal, and it was all fear-mongering. Excuse me. The media is just people. The sooner people don't even need to wake up to the politics, they need to wake up to the media. That's it. It first starts there. Like the politicians are kind of like the politics are kind of like giving you the drug for free, which is the media. That like they're the ones that are just
they're all working in lockstep. You know, aside from Fox News, just working in lockstep with like not even necessarily, but
they flip flop.
Look, I shared something the other day of they shared a like MSNBC etc. shared a piece about how Joe Biden called off a strike on Syria because they saw that there was a woman and child in the area. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah,
like they couldn't have drummed that situation up to just make to try and mitigate the
good PR,
the heat that he was taking from the last one, which we talked about. Dude, that is state propaganda, bro. Right there. That's the shit that fucking Kim Jong-un does.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? They're all working together, having backroom conversations. Like we took a lot of heat on the Syria bombing. So
we need something good and cute.
We need something
fluff
good.
Pieces.
We need something good to repair the president's image in terms of war. We need to make him look like he's that moral guy that stands for innocent people.
The most moderate president ever,
dude,
who has
so obviously fucking phoned that story.
The whole bit of it. And they're just going to keep doing that. They're going to keep doing that until there's eventually. So we were talking about how he's been stumbling and bumbling constantly, and we've been told that this was going to happen. Like he's going to start getting worse and worse, and then they're just going to squeeze Kamala in there.
Probably.
Yeah. So we were told that was going to happen.
That's what happens when you get old. You get old. Like it's not a conspiracy theory here that when you get old you get frail and
but I mean
your mind goes. It's not his fault.
Why put it on his back? Like we've been calling this for years.
It's not that why put it on him. They were counting on it.
Yeah.
They don't want someone. Like Trump was a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Why? Because for years you had presidents who were willing to play ball with everybody, and they wanted to get their agenda passed, but they were willing to also listen to the powers that be and the agent, the alphabet soup, and all that shit. And Trump was a pain in the fucking ass to the point where they had to lie to him about things because he wasn't going to go for them. They don't want that, bro. They want someone who's going to do what they say, and I don't. The infamous they. I don't know
the establishment,
but they're there.
Yeah. Well, dude, so for a little bit of the Cpac, Trump's Cpac speech, which YouTube banned RSBN, Right Side Broadcasting Network, They're a pretty popular right side station, I guess, on YouTube. They've been banned for 2 weeks for airing the Trump Cpac speech. But this was something we were talking about. Like, Biden is just here to play ball. When Trump left the Paris Accord, they came back to him multiple times saying, we're willing to negotiate. We're willing to give you a better deal. He said, we're not in, we can't afford it. We don't want to be part of it. We don't want to negotiate. We're doing enough for, America's being energy independent. It's not really fair with what's going on with China, Russia, and India. All stuff that we've been saying. And he was like, Joe Biden didn't even negotiate for a better deal. He had the option to negotiate for. Do you know how terrible and weak that makes him look? That like he just came in and is like, whatever you gave Obama, he didn't get anything
to the same
better for the American people. That would have made great headline news. That like, oh, Trump didn't want to do it, and look, he got the better. Biden got the better deal.
They could spun it to be like Biden took Trump's opting out and spun it into renegotiating a better deal.
Yeah.
They didn't even do that.
Yeah. He just took, and my father said, he was like, he's just going to go back and reverse anything Trump did, and like whatever the deal they gave Obama is what he's going to take. No questions asked. And you said it the other night. It was like, it doesn't benefit the American people. It benefits him. He's playing the game for himself.
Globalist game. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about Trump's Cpac speech. I watched the whole thing.
Yeah, so did I.
I watched the whole thing. Why did I watch the whole thing? Because they've eliminated Trump from the conversation, the public space. So I'm like, you know what? Let me see what this guy's got to say. Haven't heard from him in a couple months. I missed him a little bit.
Well, you can't think he wasn't going to be crazy. So.
And he's the same fucking guy.
What did you expect?
No, I didn't expect much, but he's flirting with running for president again. And I was hoping,
he's going to.
Listen, he lost, he left, he got a couple months in the golf course.
I know you don't want it, but
I was thinking, maybe he learned a little bit something.
Nah.
He's going to come back, and he did make some good points, like you're saying, about renegotiating a better deal, and, the Paris Climate Accord. But he's the exact same. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm giving him a fair shake, right? I'm listening to everything he has to say. But I'm like, do we want to do this again? We're gonna me and you for the next 4 years, maybe the next 8 years.
Yeah.
Because if Trump wins, that'll be another 4 years on top of these 4 years. We're gonna be talking about the same shit for 8 years. We're never gonna say, "Wow, this is a great
something new."
This is something new. A great president who's working with both sides and
I don't think we're gonna ever get that utopian day.
Though. But that's what I want.
But you got to also understand, like, they're never gonna admit it, and no one's gonna accept it. But Trump is unofficially the leader of the Republican Party. He is. He's got the biggest sway on the right.
Yeah.
And anybody who wants to be to be honest with you, though, like, one thing we could kind of agree on, even though we're not 100%, Trump's definitely not. Either he's establishment and he's playing this role where everyone hates him to be, he's
not establishment. He's his own bad thing.
So if we are looking for non-establishment people, at least it could be a start for one side to be like, I don't want to be establishment and I will tie my name. You know what I mean? Like, maybe it might be, somewhere down the line, it's going to be his own swamp monsters. But like for a period of time, we might actually get like at least Republican politicians who don't want to be establishment and who want to get the better for America first. So, you know what I mean? Like it could be, unfortunately, through him, like the way real politicians get involved into politics. You know what I mean? And not the people who just want to do corruption. But it's also going to come all from one side. They're going to get all the power, and then they'll eventually become corrupt.
Yeah, my mind is hurting just thinking about it. We're stuck in this terrible cycle, and of like, yes, like Trump's not an establishment guy, but he's not the right guy.
We don't. There's nobody stepping up to be the right guy right now.
But there are people out there. There's 300 million people in the country. There's good people out there, good men and women
He's got the name and the recognition,
and that's fucking terrible. That's what we're going on.
I know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm trying to sit here objectively and be like, look, I get it. I get why people like Trump, but we could do better.
Yeah. Well, I've been trying to say that about people like Biden and Pelosi, but nobody listens. So
it's just frustrating to be stuck in
You know what I decided when I started seeing when Joe Biden wrote 52 executive orders in a week. I said, keep your arms and legs inside the roller coaster and your seatbelt buckled at all times. And the little thing came over me, and I'm just here for the fucking ride now. That's all. Just agree. just agree with it. Like, there's no. I have a funny feeling that just by agreeing, we could actually like wake more people up by like showing how stupid it actually is. Just, you know what I mean? Like, we are in the upside down world.
Yeah,
we were talking about like anybody who's woke is truly asleep.
Yeah,
up
true.
is down, down is up.
Yes and no. Yes and no, because some of the woke people, like we were saying before, are starting to see Biden's true colors, and they're mad.
Now they're actually awakening. They're just getting woke.
Now they're really waking up. The thing is, how are they going to respond going forward? Are they going to lean harder into the racism, sexist thing, or are they going to realize that America's true problem is a class issue, not the racism and sexism?
Eventually, the real sad part of it all is racism and sexism and these phobias are not going to be a thing in the future, because we already said that, you know, it's clear the media has rebranded racist with white supremacist, you know what I mean, or white nationalists, or domestic terrorists, because they called Trump a racist for so long that, like, it doesn't even matter to anybody anymore.
People
like,
become numb to it.
Yeah, like anybody in the world is like, whether you believe it or not, you're like, yeah, Trump's a racist. And you could say that and just be like, sarcastically, yeah, Trump's racist, or you could really believe it. But like, everybody and their mothers heard it. It's old news. He's racist and got away with it, or he's not racist and they've just been, you know, prosecuting him. Yeah. Persecuting him.
I see what you mean. It's
So eventually, sexist, homophobic, anything phobic, if they overuse it, like even like the community itself is going to be like,
it's impossible. It can't be every single person. It's, you know, this is grand conspiracy that everybody's a racist, everybody's homophobic. That opposes what? The corporatist view
the
of
second
the
you
world?
don't go for the view, you know, and that's scary. That's because that's like almost like a takeover. We were saying, people are giving up their freedoms and like happy to
cheering.
Let's talk about you want to talk about the mask shit?
Like
Texas and
opening? Yeah.
Okay, why don't you explain it, because I want to comment.
Yeah, to give background first, I'm sure a lot of people have heard that like Texas, Mississippi, a lot of the
Arizona, West Virginia,
southern states have said, you know, we're just opening up 100% everything. We're getting rid of the mask required mandates. Everything could go back to being open 100%. No more businesses have to close for anything, etc., etc., etc. And boy, like, I saw it. Some people I know, blue check people on Twitter, social media in general, people's heads fucking exploded. And also, to be fair, Florida's already been in this situation.
Yeah.
You know, like, Jim Abbott of Texas made a grand spectacle of it, as if he's the first one to do it, but he's not really.
You're right.
Florida's kind of been in this.
Yes.
Not all of Florida. You know,
I will agree with you on that.
Florida's kind of already been like this.
And what you also said the other night was pretty like interesting too. Is like, because I'm calling these states like the rebellion, and you said like it's getting to the point where like these red states, like Joe Biden's not their president. You know what I mean? Like,
basically,
like, you know, everybody was for 4 years, oh, Trump's not my president, but like now we have like red state like governors like, no, you're not my president.
That's also the beauty of our country.
Yeah,
there's a reason why we're called the United States. Because you know, there's 50 individual little tiny countries within this one grand country. And they all have their own little powers within this grand scheme of things, and it's a union. It's not a dictatorship of the federal government over everybody. You know. So Biden's not the president in terms of they're just not following his advice, but legally they don't really have to, because they have their own power.
They have their state rights. So the outrage is insane, is absolutely insane. So we messed up on the date in our review, but it's March 6th.
Yes.
And listen, next week and in about a week or two from now, a week and a half from now, we will be hearing 2 weeks to flatten the curve. That was over a year ago. Okay? Our entire lives have changed. We started wearing masks. We accepted the lockdowns. We socially distanced.
Personally, we did it. Remember, we did. How long did we not hang out with our friends and did the Zoom things and all that?
We did it all. and, you know, frontline workers and essential workers came back. Restaurants endured. Small businesses endured. We did this all in the sake of getting back to normal. Not Fauci's new normal, not anybody's new normal. We followed all these procedures so we could eventually go back to normal. We have a vaccine. Even though Joe Biden didn't know he got vaccinated before his presidential inauguration, which is insane itself, we have a vaccine. So now, if you want to argue this, you're not going to win. Because either the vaccine doesn't work and we shouldn't open up, or the vaccine works and we should open up. You can't. We have the tool. We have the tool. So if you want to argue with me on this, fine. But then you better be arguing on why the vaccine doesn't work. So these states are finally feeling, yes, I understand they're doing it defiantly and because they're Republicans. Cuomo could be, you know, we could find out he forges the numbers. We could find out that all these sexual allegations are against him. But a Republican state is going to open up. It's the end of the world for, you know, it's the end of the world for the country now. Everybody's, you know, bitching and moaning.
And let's be fair. It's not 100% true either, because Connecticut's opening up 100%, and Ned Lamont is a Democrat, and he's followed Cuomo step by step the whole way. There's still certain restrictions in place in Connecticut, but for the most part, they're allowing businesses to reopen, 100% capacity. Ned Lamont is not taking tremendous heat and shit from liberal Democrats, whoever.
Connecticut's
in the
happy.
Social space. People in Connecticut are happy. Yeah.
And so, but my point here is, first off, the mask mandates are being lifted. If you still want to wear 1 mask, 2 masks, 3 masks, wear them.
You want to wear a fucking an astronaut helmet? Yeah. You could do that.
There's no rules against not wearing a mask. We are getting back to normal, and back to normal means not wearing these masks, not having to socially distance. More people are getting vaccinated. It's not like no one's getting vaccinated. This cry is dangerous and the stupidest thing I've ever seen. These people, these Agent Smiths, these bots that just come to, are literally annoyed that they're getting their freedoms back. It's not about saving grandma anymore. We have the vaccine, and grandma is the first one online.
Those are the first people who should be getting vaccinated.
And they are.
Boy, I'm seeing a lot of these people who are, you know, follow the science and wear the mask and do everything, and et cetera, and et cetera, et cetera. And they're young, and I'm seeing them. People I know are going, I don't know how they're getting the vaccine. They're not first responders. They're not this. They're not that. They shouldn't be getting the vaccine yet, technically. And they're getting the vaccine. And then they're going and they're posting on social media about it.
When an elderly person...
You know, I don't need to go get it. Why? Why should I take one... The vaccine supply is short now, right? Why should I go take one away from my grandma who is stubborn and doesn't want to go get it? But, like, that should be available for one more grandma somewhere else right now. Why do I need to go get it? But I'm seeing all these virtuous people... Right, so they're so virtuous. They wanted to save everybody all these years.
But now they're using the vaccine.
They went to the front of the fucking line. They cut the line. To go get the vaccine, so they could post about it on social media.
And now on top of it, they got the vaccine. On top of it, the same people who are already vaccinated are mad that the state's lifting a mask mandate.
Oh, dude,
it does it. You got vaccinated so you can go back to being normal. So you could go back into society and feel safe and be safe. You are getting angry that we are getting our freedoms back. Do you think in jail and in prison, when the guards open up the doors and go, okay, you got an hour in the rec yard, the prisoners go, no, I don't, and shut the gate in front of them so they can't get their hour of freedom in the in fresh air?
I violated the rules. I violated the laws. I need to stay here and continue my punishment.
Nobody in their right mind, sick people, deranged people do that. If you're one of these people, you need to reevaluate stuff because you've gone too deep in drinking way too much of the Kool-Aid.
This is like our therapy session, dude. We're just venting our frustrations with everybody. This is what we talked about though in our Xbox Live chat the other day, where I mentioned how people are straight up plugged into the Matrix.
Agent Smith.
If you watch the Matrix,
we should have like a whole marathon.
We should. It's a great movie. If you watch The Matrix, like machines rule the world, and they use human beings as batteries, and they have them plugged into a computer system which simulates a reality for humans that's not true. It's not the real world.
Basically, right
keeps
now.
them, keeps them in the dark of the whole world. And so when we say people are plugged into the Matrix, people are just, I don't want to look at the truth. No, I just want to live in this alternate reality that I created, and
where my feelings matter more than facts.
And then I brought up the point of Agent Smith. If you watch The Matrix, Neo was the chosen one, right? And when Neo would go into the Matrix and do something that would like get the Agent Smith's attention, Agent Smith would bam, he'd pop up, right? He'd take over someone else who like another random person in the Matrix and go to fight Neo, right? So I was making the point to you that if people like me and you go and say something like, well, mask mandates, you don't need them.
Yeah.
People could still wear a mask on their own. The Agent Smith will pop up on social media,
aka a bot
in your personal life, maybe even someone will pop up, and they'll just have this need to defend that the system, like this new normal that has been created, just like
defending the system.
Agent Smith pops up to challenge Neo anytime he was in the Matrix, trying to undo this whole terrible scenario that the machines have created for human beings in the Matrix.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah,
the Matrix. It's
basically real. Not people are not plugged into an actual machine, but in their minds, they're following this life.
Just think of it like social media is the Matrix, where like all this battling has been going on, and like when you say something too true, fucking boom, Agent Smith comes in.
Yes.
And like Jack Dorsey is like the biggest Agent Smith, like just acts Trump, acts the My Pillow guy. Like
how many times have we spoken about my battles on Chris Murphy's page, and like how I say something contradictory or challenging him because he's my rep, right? I have every right to do so. And like the hate I get, and it almost feels like they're robots, like they're not actual social media real people.
Some of the things I've seen on Facebook with the mask mandates in Texas and stuff, they're like, well, Texas is Republican like Florida, and we've seen Florida has failed. No, Florida never failed. It didn't do too bad. Like just complete, like that's real life misinformation.
Right.
And then like the stuff about then the stuff about Como with all the sexual allegations. I've seen people like, oh, it's just a bunch of red-pilled bitches. The Republicans got to them. So you're all for the Me Too movement until it's a Democratic politician.
No, they're only for the Me Too movement if it's people who fit that agenda or that narrative. It's not about women's rights. It's about the right women's rights, rights for women or rights for transgenders if they hold your opinion.
Yeah.
And the opinion is like elitist, liberal white people.
Yeah. But we got to get rid of white people. Yeah. We could cancel everything, but nobody tries to cancel the KKK.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's been one of the most suspicious things I've seen of how they're like not mentioned.
Never.
I was saying the other day, I'm like, maybe it's the KKK is planning all this shit, and they're the ones who are pushing the woke agenda, right? Because they know how it's tearing the fabric of the fucking country apart, and that's their ultimate goal, right? Is to reestablish this rule of like white lunatic fucking supremacists. Maybe it's them. Maybe they're pulling the strings behind the fucking scenes. I don't know.
It almost holds water because, like I said, we've canceled Mr. Potato Head and Dr. Seuss. Wait, why aren't we angry at the KKK? Like,
how come? Right? Okay. First of all, Dr. Seuss canceled themselves because they
made a ton of money.
They canceled themselves because they probably figured they were going to get canceled in the future.
Wait, hold on. Did you see Jeep? What Jeep commented? No. The car company.
Yeah. What about? No,
so they were like, we cancel culture as a whole kind of came together and was like, Jeep, we really think you should drop the name Jeep Grand Cherokee because Cherokee Indians. And Jeep responded, thank you, but we respectfully decline.
That's funny.
So go on.
I wanted to fact check myself real quick because I'm going to say something I said last night, and I wanted to make sure I was correct because I could just be making shit up, but I'm not. Dr. Seuss went on ahead and canceled themselves. Other books, other things, have canceled themselves because they weren't politically correct enough. I could go on Amazon right now, right this very second. It's right here. And I could buy Mein Kampf. Do you know what Mein Kampf is? Mein Kampf is Adolf Hitler's book. It says here, Mein Kampf by Adolf Hitler. Mein Kampf is Adolf Hitler's book that he wrote that explains his... Mein Kampf means my struggle in German, right? And his struggle with, like, his whole ideology of eliminating the Jews and all this stuff that was terrible and obviously wrong. I could go buy Mein Kampf, but I can't go buy now those specific Dr. Seuss books because Dr. Seuss, determined that those were not correct anymore.
Yeah.
But Amazon hasn't canceled Mein Kampf or started to, block its distribution or anything like that. And I'm not saying they should, right? Because
But it's suspicious.
It's suspicious, right? However, I'm the sort of person that feels like everything should be available, right? If I, I've thought about reading Mein Kampf before just to see, like, how crazy this fucking person is to understand, like, his mentality, because just from, like, a learning experience, not because I believe in it. Like, I think that's
as
good.
evil as that man was, he accomplished something that, like, I couldn't even imagine you could go on this type of a war path of genocide and come that close to succeeding. Like, it doesn't even make sense that, like,
it's part of history, right?
Yeah.
And you're supposed to learn from your history, so it shouldn't be blocked, right? Neither should Dr. Seuss or whatnot, because you could see, look, back in the day, Dr. Seuss wrote shit that was politically incorrect because that's how people were back in the day.
But if
you erase that,
Michelle
then you can't learn
Obama
from
and
it.
Kamala Harris have both read publicly Dr. Seuss. Like,
I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to compare Dr. Seuss to Adolf Hitler.
No.
But there's some value in reading, learning despicable people's stuff in history. Why? Because why do we teach history in school?
Somebody said, and sorry to interject, but somebody said, if you're reading history and you're happy about what you're reading, you're not learning history.
Right.
History was downright disgusting.
Yeah.
Like, these wars came upon us because of despicable acts. The world was shaped to what we have today because of these despicable acts. Like, you shouldn't be reading a history book shouldn't be an enjoyable thing.
No, it shouldn't. Like I was trying to say before, we teach children history in school. Why? Because someone along someone who thinks of, like, how do we like make society work? Kids got to go to school so that they learn things, they get skills, grow up, and they can participate in society. At the same time, we should teach children the history of humanity, and because in the past we made a lot of mistakes, and we'd like for the new generation of children, of people, to learn from those mistakes that we made before, and they're only going to learn that if they see the ugly stuff. If they see
that's gonna be gone.
In 1945, that the Nazis killed 6 million Jews and so many people around the world, and, like, that Nazi ideology is disgusting and terrible. But if you just erase all those things from the record, what the fuck? What are you learning then? That a new terrible ideology could come up because people don't because
they're so offended by how offensive it is. It's just people becoming weaker.
Yeah,
it really is.
It's weird, bro. It's very weird. Weird.
For somebody to have availability to get a vaccine and then be mad that things are going back to normal. Like, you're literally mad that the government's not telling you to wear a mask anymore. You don't have the wherewithal to just continue wearing the mask because you think it's safe.
At the end of the day, that's what these directives in these states mean. It means we're not telling you, they're not saying it's illegal to wear a mask.
Right.
We're just saying we as the government are no longer going to force you to wear a mask. What they're saying is you're free again. You want to wear a mask? Do it. You're a business. You're Target. You're Walmart. You want to make people wear a mask to come into your store? You could do that.
Yep.
Right? Because this is your property, your store, and you're still scared of the virus, whatever, fine.
And there'll still be plenty of places. Yeah.
If I don't want to wear a mask, then you don't have to serve me. You know what I mean? It's
and that's the other thing. Like, I'm sure, like, down south, like, the bars are going to be open up. But, like you were saying, like, here in Connecticut, like, it's just 100% capacity at the restaurant. It's not dance floors and going crazy
no, it's
again
not
and shit.
Full. It's not.
When you go to the bathroom, you still need to wear your mask and stuff. Like, so what are we like? You know what I mean? Like, what are we really complaining about?
The entire coronavirus. The entire coronavirus has been politicized.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter the reality of the situation.
No.
It's just a Republican says this about coronavirus, it's bad. A Democrat says this about coronavirus, it's good. Yeah. And that's it. That's what we have to listen to. And there are the people who are plugged into Matrix, what they're waiting for, and some are not even waiting for this. They're just never going to go back to normal, some people.
No.
But some people are waiting for Dr. Fauci or Joe Biden or Andrew Cuomo to get on the TV and says, everything is over. I'm telling you now, you could go back to normal.
Which is never going to happen.
That's never going to happen, number one. That is what some people are waiting for. And then there are the people who are never going to go back to normal. Their psyche has been completely broken
Any
by
sneeze
this whole
and
thing.
cough will be COVID for life. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what, though?
Those are the weak people. They'll be
we don't
weeded
need
out
those
by
people.
society.
Yeah.
You know, they'll be weeded out because their immune systems will be so destroyed by this whole thing.
You know, let's play a stupid game for a second. Imagine if, like, the world really did end, like zombie apocalypse. It's, you know, Walking Dead. And literally people are in the streets eating each other. Like, do you mean these people have, like, these people are so mentally challenged and, like, stupid that, like, if the zombie apocalypse like that happened, like, they would sit home and wait for, like, a government, like,
Yeah, they would.
You know what I mean?
People would.
Like the city, the streets would be overrun with man-eating zombies, and like me and you'd be out there with shotguns driving away in a truck.
But there'd be people hiding in their closet waiting for, you know, a soldier to come
for Joe Biden and be like, come on, hey, come on, man.
There would be. Funny, that's funny you brought that up because I was recently, The Walking Dead's coming back soon, and I was thinking of, like, how the Walking Dead universe, and I'm like, I wonder, you know, like, there was no politicization of the virus in the Walking Dead universe. It was, I was trying to draw, like, a comparison between the two. I'm like, look at how a virus in real life, you know, how it was handled compared to, like, a bullshit movie, TV, whatever the fuck.
But, like, that's insane. Like, that, like, people need, like, why? I guess I'll just never understand, like, these people need, like, a constant, like, overlord controlling them.
Yeah,
which is insane to
maybe that's a human trait.
You can't tell me that you're not the weaker person. Like, if that's what you're. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for making that type of judgment, but, like,
that's also anti-American too. America is supposed to be like individualism, freedom.
Yeah. And like, you got to.
I could worry about myself. You know.
I mean, we're pro 2A because we understand, like, at the very basics, like, if someone's kicking in that back door. You know, it's
whether it's your house, your state, your city, your country.
Yeah, like if I have the shotgun ready, like, I could fight back because that person on the other side might be Jason and Freddy Krueger ready to rip me apart. Whereas, like, other people are like, no, we don't need guns. The cops are going to handle that. You're going to call the cops, and Uber Eats is going to get here before the cops do. And, you know, Freddy's going to be eating your hamburger.
It's a mentality and ideological divide. Yeah. Some people are just, they believe the government will save them, fix everything for them. And sometimes we say, you know, the government should fix this or fix that. You know, whatever. But at the end of the day, I like the fact that America there's a document that is founded on, you know, here's the basic principles. Number one, say whatever you want. You can believe whatever you want.
No, you can't say whatever you want anymore.
But that's what it says, right?
Yeah.
Number two, you could bear arms. Why? Because you need them to protect number one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like that. I like that.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
What else you want to bring up? Or are we reaching time yet?
We got time. We got another half an hour or so if you want to keep going for 20 minutes.
What do you got in mind?
Boy, there's so much shit I could go into.
Jump around. Oh, wait, hon, you want to talk about that thing that we saw on Instagram?
You know, real quick, I'll make another point about the Second Amendment and just the gun culture in America and the fact that there's so many guns. And we were, you know, I know you were watching on Netflix that samurai thing, and I was trying to make this point to you the other day when we were talking, but I didn't get to it. You know, Admiral Yamamoto from World War II, the famous Japanese admiral, who's my favorite guy in all of World War II, even though he was on the other side. My favorite guy because of his massive, like, respect for America and he knew, he was, like, aware of they had no chance to win.
Yeah.
And he has a famous quote of, I'm sure you've heard it before, it's like something like a mainland invasion of America would never succeed. Yeah. There'd be a gun behind every blade of grass.
Yeah.
So the fact that the Second Amendment's written into the foundational documents of our country protects our country, right? Because we got a lot of crazy gun people in this country, right? And if there ever was an empire of Japan trying to land on the shores, we have China, our military, Russia, and we got Billy fucking Bob on the corner who's going to fight back too and join the military. So that's like a defense in itself.
The Red Dawn itself would be real difficult if you went from, like, the south up. Like, you wouldn't be able to.
Right. Why would you want to give that up? You know, it's
not people. The people can't even fathom that.
Guns
I can't
are
even.
Freedom. Guns are like rights. Guns are liberty.
Yeah. Well. So, the thing that I wanted to bring up, so there's the crisis at the border wall, and Joe Biden's...
It's not a crisis anymore. It's fun now.
Well, yeah, now it's the greatest thing ever. But Joe Biden's, campaign, the only promise he has kept us is, I'm not Trump, so vote for me. He's undone all of what Trump did at the border. There's literally 6-foot gaps in the wall that he refuses to finish. The increase of children at the border wall have skyrocketed. And now America's going to be losing money on the contracts that he's not paying for the walls either. Yeah. But anyway, so U.S. citizens can't board a flight to the U.S. without a coronavirus test. Yet COVID-19 positive migrants are allowed into our country. Joe Biden has applied Andrew Cuomo's nursing home playbook to the entire United States. Now think of this. So Texas just got rid of its mask mandates. Texas is going to reopen. Now, under Joe Biden, we have catch and release again, where we release these people into America. And ICE doesn't have the power to detain anyone anymore. So when they get here and they get caught, they get tested for COVID. If they come back and be positive, they get released right over the border into Texas. Texas just got rid of this mandate. You're going to see this big spike in it. They will never blame the immigrants on this, and they're going to blame the Republican governor.
No, they're going to blame American people
for being dirty, and we're going to
not following the rules and doing this. Doing that.
Joe Biden has created such a crisis at the border. The children showing up are have grown tenfold, and on top of it, he the whole kids in cages stuff. He's putting them in shipping containers.
He's expanding that whole operation. He's taking heat from progressives. Yeah. He's taking heat because...
And on top of it, since there's such an uptick in children showing up at the border, that the facilities, the happy-go-lucky land facilities...
I want to go. It sounds great.
They are now going to ditch COVID regulations, and they're going to go to 100% capacity. We are now going to not believe the science and get... You know what I mean? Everybody's anti...
Only politically correct, bro. Only politically, sorry, not correct, but convenient. Only when politically convenient.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah, it is. You know what? I wanted to bring this up before. I mentioned this to you earlier today. Yesterday, I was on my phone and I got a pop up on Instagram notification. It says White House is going live. So I go, oh, this should be interesting. Let's see what's going on. Click on it. It's a split screen, and on the bottom is Dr. Fauci. On the top, it is two Spanish women. An older grandma and her younger granddaughter, and they are asking Fauci questions about coronavirus and the vaccine especially, and the younger granddaughter was translating for her grandma to speak English, and they're both going back and forth with Fauci, asking questions about grandma's vaccine, etc., etc., etc. The whole thing seemed very phony to me, right? Mm-hmm. It seemed like it seemed like there was they were acting and whatnot. It seemed very rehearsed.
Right. Which it probably was.
Today, I was on Twitter, right? And I'm scrolling through, and you know how there's promoted ads on Twitter? I see a promoted ad for Samsung Galaxy Note, whatever the fuck. And it was a girl holding the Samsung, Galaxy phone, dancing around. And I'm like, she looks familiar. Holy shit. I'm like, is that the same girl that I saw in the video yesterday?
There you go.
From the Fauci video?
A crisis actor.
Look, I literally was like, holy shit, that looks like the same exact girl. Yeah. I left Twitter, right? And I my first instinct was, let me go back and look at the video from yesterday's Instagram Live. Let me see if I can find it. Left Twitter, closed it out, went to Google, searched White House Instagram Live, can't find it anywhere.
Yeah.
It's not on Instagram anymore. There was no like recorded video posted on the internet that I could find. Not even a news article talking about Fauci having this conversation with people. So then I go back to Twitter to go look for the ad, and it's gone.
Oh, I could have told you it was going to happen.
It went away.
Yeah.
I went to Samsung's Twitter thing, and I couldn't find it there either.
I could have told you that was going to happen.
I don't know. It could have, I could have made the whole thing up.
Were you even awake?
You know what I mean? I could have made the whole thing up. I don't know, but it looked like the same girl, and then there was no way for me to verify, confirm it, but it was pretty suspicious.
Yeah, I wouldn't be, there is a legitimate thing called crisis actors, I wouldn't be surprised if
they just use actors in general.
We already know that the establishment will fabricate its own truth to make it look what they need it to be. Yeah. So why not do an interview where it's completely staged and you ask the right questions and you get the right answers? and it's just easily digestible.
And just think about it. Are they going to let anyone on the White House Instagram Live with Dr. Fauci? What if they say the wrong thing or curse or something?
They're not briefed a million times.
I guarantee you it wasn't even live. I guarantee you it was pre-recorded and then presented as if
live.
It was live. Yeah. It could be done. They could fudge with Instagram and whatnot. It's the fucking White House. They could do anything.
And would Instagram... Well, Mark Zuckerberg owns Instagram. Is he really going to fight with the Biden administration? We know he's on that side.
Me and you could fudge a real... We could record something, and I could figure it out how to play it back and pretend like it was live.
It's all just a big game. You know, I saw a tweet I think today, actually, and it was like, everybody really needs to brace for what's going to happen next, because something big is going to come down the line, because we already had one crisis, whether it was real or not, that we were willing to give up anything and everything out of fear if we're scared enough. And the guy was like, trust me, the next one's going to be even scarier.
They're going to learn from this. They're going to learn how could they be more efficient next time.
Yeah, exactly. So the next boogeyman's going to come with, vengeance. Yeah.
Let me say another thing I was thinking of recently, and I heard on Timcast. I think it was Timcast, or maybe it was Dave Smith again. They make these podcasts, these other political podcasts make a lot of really good points, and they were talking about the whole censorship and like big tech companies, and how a lot of people say, well, they're a private company, they could do whatever they want.
I said that about the bakeries that don't want to make the gay cakes.
Yeah, I know, but I heard a good point saying, are they really private companies? And the government makes the government. Like, we're not censoring you. Joe Biden's not censoring anything. It's Twitter, and Twitter's a private company, and they,
But it's funny that Twitter only helps Joe Biden.
Let me make my point, right? It's Twitter and it's Facebook. They're a private company. They can do whatever they want. I'm not telling them what to do. Hold on a second. Facebook, Twitter, Amazon, Google, etc., etc., etc. They, how much money they contribute to politicians' campaigns. Lobbyists and all that stuff, they're working with the government. Yeah. So yes, they're a private company, but they're the government, basically. Like, whatever they want to push, they're going to lobby for it. They have the money for it, They're working in tandem with the government. So, by extension, they're the government. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're pushing their narrative. There's a reason why there's a bias towards conservative censorship as opposed to liberal. And they do censor, like, really progressive things, too, because they don't want that either. So
they only want what's the agenda will hold.
The argument of they're a private company, they're not the government censoring.
They're really not.
They basically are the government. You're just not thinking of it that way. They're helping the government. They're working in lockstep with the government.
With the way they want it to be run.
MSNBC running the puff piece for fucking Joe Biden. They're the government. Corporations have shrouded themselves in this thing of we're private entities. No, America has been taken over and basically run by corporations.
Hey, there's the Corporation of the United States.
Yeah. And look, I don't know what's the right economic model, and this is like a very Marxist communist thing to say, but corporations have gotten out of control to the point where they've almost destroyed society, and they're running everything, every little agenda a corporation wants. Well, and this has been the largest experiment in capitalism ever. So we've had the experiment in communism. The Soviet Union eventually collapsed. It doesn't work, right? But we don't know how long capitalism could work for. Maybe this is how it collapsed, right? Because too few get all the resources, control everything, and that's just human society won't function that way.
So when was it when they, made the monopolies illegal and stuff like that? The Industrial Revolution or whatever?
Around there, probably.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly.
That's what basically needs. We need a corporate revolution.
We have the rule. We have we have the weapons on the books to break up them.
But we're not using them.
We don't use them. Why? Yeah. Because
we're making too much money by letting them run.
Right, because the corporations have so much money, they're making sure the politicians, no, don't use those things to break stuff. We don't want that. We'll keep funding your campaign. You'll keep winning. You'll keep making your thing. You could pass your social justice agenda items, right? Because that's good, but make sure that the tax policy favors us.
Yeah.
The trade policies favor us. Everything else favors us. Concentrate on the social justice things. That doesn't help. That doesn't harm us.
We'll make our Facebook logo the rainbow flag.
Right.
Yeah.
You think Jeff Bezos gives a fuck if black people live in like a poor condition or whatever? He might say he does, but does it affect him in any way? No. He lives in a fucking complete mansion compound.
To live on the moon if he wanted.
Yeah.
This is why this is why the show's name is Two Doomed Men.
I guess,
and this is why we call you Doomed Nation, because you can't even. They're not even hiding it anymore. It is a circus out there now.
Yeah, this was a very get things off your chest sort of episode. We were just ranted about things that are pissing us off.
Well, I'm good. I feel better. You got any more in you?
Too. No, that's it.
You want to give them the PS2? I'm tired of doing this one.
PS2. Captain
PS2. My God, I'm still doing that.
We are still doing the raffle for the PlayStation 5 Digital Edition. Please help us out. We're going to give some of the money to Barstool Fund, which helps small businesses. It is $55 an entry, or $50 if you subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram. If you do that, send us a message, send us an email. All our shit's all over the place, whatever. Let us know that you're subscribed. But the most important thing is buy some raffle entries. You have, it's basically if we need 30 people, right?
Yeah. Minimum of 30 people.
Minimum of 30 people. Probably when we get to 30 people, if we could get there, we're just going to do it. So you have a 1 out of 30 shot to win a PlayStation 5. They're really hard to get right now still. They're like, people are selling them on eBay for like thousands still.
And on top of it, you get a gift card.
You get a gift card,
Pete Saloon.
Pete Saloon.
And the winner also gets a gift card to Silvio's.
Yes. Pete Saloon is offering every single person a $50 gift card if we reach the 30.
Yep.
Silvio's Restaurant in Yonkers is offering a $100 gift card on top to the winner of the overall raffle. So help us out, man.
So you're getting a pretty decent deal.
We're having a hard time getting the raffle entries. It's for a good cause.
Yes.
Do it. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. It's only $50. It's not, it's not the end of the world. It's going for a good cause.
So anyway, Doom Nation, as always, thank you guys for sitting through this and listening to us. You can find us anywhere Trump is banned. Instagram is at 2DoomMen_podcast. Everywhere else is at 2DoomMen. You can listen to us where any major podcasts are aired: Apple iTunes, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and of course, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page at 2DoomMen. Thank you guys, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, check out our review also of WandaVision Season 1. That is already up. If you're a big Disney MCU person, check it out.
Yep.
Later.
All right. Peace.